Alright, here we are with Jeremy Shear on his persuasive speech on recycling.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Most of us have recycled to some degree. Some of you may have even gone the extra mile and recycled paper. Well, today I'm here to tell you that it's absolutely necessary to take recycling seriously. And I'm going to tell you why. Recycling is a very useful commodity, especially since we are constantly consuming, burning up, wearing out, and destroying nature at an alarming rate. When I was employed at Nova Chemicals, I voluntarily joined the Environmental Committee. The committee was a small group of devoted individuals who cared deeply about the impacts of arrogant wastefulness. Our primary focus was to develop processes that would remain in place long enough to have a positive impact on the environment. Our group put into practice several ongoing events to help the local community. We created the River Sweep. This was an event that helped clear the river of debris and waste. We created a program in coalition with Abitibi. Abitibi is a paper recycling facility where all of their proceeds go to certain charities. We implemented the current aluminum recycling program at the facility, and lastly, we introduced composting to the site. Today I will give you facts about recycling that may surprise you, facts that will arouse suspicion, and facts that may make you change your opinion. So stay alert because you don't want to miss anything that I'm going to say. Recycling is the process of recovering material and transforming it into a new product. The idea of recycling has been talked about for years, and it is high time to start acting on these impulses. It may seem that everyone already recycles. Well, we don't. A large portion of people believe that it's time-consuming, a major hassle, and it has no real added benefit. On the contrary, it is extremely easy and vital to everyday life. Landfills are being overwhelmed with excess waste, making recycling a must. The number of available landfills has significantly dropped from in 1973 they had about 20,000 landfills to now we have about 3,000 active today. This reinforces the fact as a whole that we are creating more waste than we actually have room for. Not only has the amount of landfill space diminished, these overflowing heaps can cause serious damage to air and water quality. For instance, a lake located relatively close to a landfill in Florida has become polluted to such a degree that there's no aquatic life left at all in that area. In order to slow down the growing amount of waste, it is absolutely necessary for us to begin recycling. When discussing recycling, we sometimes fail to include paper products. Partly due to our massive consumer use of paper products, forests are diminishing at record rates. Every day, roughly 20,000 hectares of forest is diminished. To put this into a visual perspective, imagine the size of Paris. Now, double that. That's what we're talking about when we talk about the forest being diminished. Recycling 1 short ton of paper saves 17 mature trees, 7,000 gallons of water, 3 cubic yards of landfill space, 2 barrels of oil, and 4,100 kilowatts of electricity. Americans use about 4,100 kilowatts of electricity in about 5 months. It is blatantly obvious that there is a definite need to recycle. I feel it is necessary to inform all of you of why you need to become actively involved. We need to take ownership of our impacts on the environment. As Americans, we do not do our part when we compare it to others. Recycling saves a lot of energy and significantly reduces pollution. However, the United States only recycles about 25% of its waste. Here in America, only 15% of the communities actually make their communities recycle. We're getting better at it, but we still have a long ways to go to catch up to other countries like Japan, who actually recycle 33% of their total waste. Now that we've established a foundation for recycling, let's take a look at some of what can be recycled. Just about everything in your trash can be recycled. Mainly paper in your recycled trash. Paper products are by far the largest component in landfills. Although paper is traditionally used for reading and writing, packaging products have replaced communication as the largest consumer of paper. Even though paper products are a big part of trash, they are the most widely recycled material. 20 years ago, only one curbside program existed in the United States for recycling. Now there are about 10,000 curbside programs and 12,000 drop-off sites available for use in America. Another large component in trash that can be recycled are plastic products. Plastic recycling is a relatively new concept. Only 20% of all plastic is recycled. The percentage of plastic recycled would be higher, except there are about 50 different variations of plastic on the market, so it makes it hard to keep up with new recycling programs. Plastic products have become a near necessity. Unfortunately, with this increased demand comes increased waste. Every year, the amount of plastic waste generated nearly doubles. Much of this waste is polystyrene, which takes thousands of years to degrade, if it ever does at all. In 1973, 53 million pounds of aluminum cans were recycled in all, which makes aluminum the most widely recycled and highly successful recycled material to date. Today we exceed that same amount on a daily basis. Every year in America, nearly $1 billion is generated from recycling aluminum scrap. Now that we have an idea of the material used in recycling, it is time for me to sum up the benefits of the overall process. There are a bundle of benefits to recycling. Recycling not only reduces the enormous amounts of waste being dumped into landfills, it provides a means to improve overall solid waste management. Recycling decreases drinking water pollution and, as well, air pollution. Consumer products are being manufactured from recycled products. Outdoor sportswear is now being made from 25% recycled plastics. Companies such as LL Bean and JanSport are utilizing this green tool to make new product lines and generate revenue. In case you are wondering, recycled goods are no more expensive than the original product themselves. Now that I have enlightened you with facts surrounding the importance of recycling, let us review some of the key points. Recycling is no longer just a fad. It should never be viewed as a burden. By recycling, we are saving our precious earth and, in retrospect, saving ourselves. With all the advances by way of solutions to a greener environment, it has become so easy to recycle that there is no excuse whatsoever. So I implore all of you to go the extra mile and make the difference and try to recycle. Today we learned a few new functions of recycling, such as the importance of recycling, why we need to take ownership of our actions, what can be recycled, and what types of benefits do we stand to gain from actually recycling. Recycling isn't just a movement for hippies and tree huggers any longer. It is a movement for everyone to take part in that has an interest in living in a cleaner and safer environment. Now that the government is driving the recycling bus, better get yourself a ticket and get on board, or you're going to get left behind. At the beginning of the speech, I handed out a piece of paper containing information on local paper retriever bins near your area. Some of these recycling drop-offs are nothing more than just colorful dumpsters. These units get emptied periodically, and the proceeds that are generated from the contents that get recycled go to benefit established charities. So here comes your first test. I want you to find a local paper drop-off using the list that I provided to you earlier. And on your way home tonight, I want you to stop by the selected drop-off from the list and throw that piece of paper into the bin. This is your first step to making a difference in your community. So feel free to repeat that process at any time, and I actually encourage it. Thank you for attending my last speech, and I will talk to you all soon.